Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Welcome to the show, guys. Man, it's been one of those days. And I mean, it's been one of those days. I just don't even know what to say. I mean, to the Joe Boo Sports. I just really don't know what to say. With Jerry Jones going through and doing, I'm just trying to understand, what the hell are you doing, Jerry? Actually had this video clip that I wanted to play, and of course it's acting up on me. Hang on for 1 second here while I get the Vimeo chat going. Shout out to Extreme Archery, Dolores Harris, Bozy, and of course and I got this volume up over there. Let's turn the volume down. Forgive me, I don't have everything quite set up the way I'd like to have it set up. Okay, enable chat, there we go. All right, welcome everybody over on Vimeo, as well as everybody over here. I'm not sure what's going on with my other computer over here, but it's acting kind of funny today, kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. I got to tell you, when Jerry Jones went through and basically said today about Jason Garrett, he's the guy he believes in. Okay. Heard me talk crap about you. I suck. Okay. If you say so, my man. How you doing, Johnny Cray, Boomer Sooner, Rusty Shackelford? Welcome to the show tonight, guys. After hearing Jerry Jones talking about his belief in Jason Garrett, it made me start wondering what the hell is going on with Jerry. I thought the Dallas Cowboys were about winning, but apparently it's not about winning. Apparently it's about being a soap opera, or maybe it's about being a troll. I don't know what it is, but you can't honestly look at what's been going on with the Dallas Cowboys and feel like we're good. Dak from 2016 to now has literally fallen off a cliff. Your offensive line, which was the best offensive line in football, which is the highest paid offensive line in football, is now ranked 10th. Defense has come along. But basically, the Cowboys are a laughingstock. They're a joke. Everybody is talking about how bad your quarterback is, how bad the coaching staff is, how bad the play calling is. I can't see where you are happy and content with all that. The Dallas Cowboys used to be the standard bearer for the NFL. And now, not so much. Right now, we are literally a joke in the NFL. And I can't understand how, Jerry, you are good with that. Already taken care of at Cleveland Browns. Okay. Forget the trolls. We have bigger issues. I actually had a clip here I wanted to play, but my computer over here is acting up on me. And it hurts, actually, because it was today, October 12th, that they traded Herschel Walker. And at the time, it was thought to be the craziest move ever. Everybody basically said it was a great train robbery, not in a good way for the Cowboys. It ended up being the thing that ended up getting the Cowboys on board, because they were able to take that draft and stock the cupboards. they were able to go ahead and get a team together on the field that had better players than everybody else. So you have to start wondering, is Jerry Jones really that good of a GM, or was he just lucky and ended up falling into the luck of having the greatest train robbery of all times? Because we look at getting rid of Jimmy Johnson. If your whole thing is, I'm sorry, let me see if I can escape from that real quick and refresh it. If your whole thing is about winning, and this is what I talked about earlier, then how is it you got rid of Jimmy Johnson? If the only thing you're focused on is winning.
What do we have that somebody else wants?
Now we get back. Okay, let's try this again. Let's go back to this moment in time. October 12th.
They say we only got one player.
Oh, look at Herschel Walker fight and score!
In exchange for Walker, Dallas will receive a #1 draft pick, plus 6 conditional draft choices over the next 3 years, including 2 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, and 1 third-round pick.
One agent said it's the biggest trade he has ever seen in the NFL. One owner said it's a great train robbery, but whatever it is, we're happy with it.
We had just traded the only guy that we had on our team that was really any good, and I couldn't believe it.
I don't know what we're going to get, what players we're going to receive. I don't know where our offense is going right now, or what you're going to see on Sunday.
The key is not getting the picks. The key is picking good players with the picks.
Draw play, Smith up the middle. Bounces at the 10, to the 5, cut to the right, cut to the left. Oh, no! Evan Smith.
Whoa, yes, yes! Unbelievable run! Understand it at the time, and I'm glad they...
Caught, 35, Harper's breaking away! Harper's got midfield!
The Cowboys are going to a Super Bowl.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
The Cowboys are back on top of the mountain now. They were there in the 70s, fell off in the 80s. They're back on top now, and they should stay there a while.
Wow. What a ride it's been.
30 years later, people still always say, well, remember the Herschel Walker trade.
To build that into the dynasty that it was, his eye for talent was a huge difference, and it really changed the course of that organization.
2 in a row. How sweet it is. Yeah.
Back to back, baby.
Back to back, baby. Dallas, your Cowboys are still champions.
To get what amounted to, 11 or 12 bodies, and some of them #1 picks.
It's not only awful from the Vikings standpoint because they traded away all these pieces that helped them get to an NFC Championship game just 2 years before.
His talents did not translate in any way, shape, or form to what the Vikings were doing.
And there's never been a trade this clear, this clean, in terms of building up one franchise and sinking the other.
Congratulations. We're going again. We're going again, baby.
This trade equals 3 Super Bowls for the Cowboys. You can't ever say that in NFL history outside of this.
And Dallas, your Cowboys are world champions again.
The Ford F-150 proves its mettle against everything else with best-in-class payload.
So,
it doesn't just
my
raise
question
the bar,
is,
it is the bar.
what happened to that guy? What happened to the coach that ended up making those trades? I want to know why all of a sudden Jason Garrett is the guy. I understand you believe in him and everything else. I got that, okay. But you were a risk taker, Jerry. Jerry, you ended up taking all your fortunes that you had made in the oil company, and you turned around and put it into the Dallas Cowboys. that wasn't exactly the smartest move at that time because the Dallas Cowboys weren't America's team any longer. The Dallas Cowboys were on a nosedive down and were literally no longer there. You put your fortune into it. You brought in a college coach when everybody said, you're nuts. You took the chance on Herschel Walker, and now, we're okay. This is cool. Now, I know when I was younger, I didn't fear dying. I did a lot of things that were crazier than I would do now because I realized, you know what, that shit can kill you. But where did that guy go? Where is the guy that said, you're going to perform or you're out of here? And I know people are like, we need positivity. I know, just let me vent for a little bit and then we'll go. Because this is the thing I'm trying to understand here, because I'm going to pull up one other thing here that I want you graphed for you guys to look at. Take a look at this. Okay, now we've got Jason Garrett, nice guy, intelligent, guy you'd like to hang out with and stuff, but we haven't had the success. And I've gone through the numbers of the rule of 5, which says basically if you haven't won within year 5, your first 5 years of coaching, you're not going to win the Super Bowl unless you're Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Don Shula, or one other coach, okay? But we're talking about coaches of the past. Take a look at what Denver did with John Fox. John Fox was there for 4 years. And in 4 years, his first year, they went 8-8. They still won the AFC West. They lost to New England in the divisional round. But they did win a playoff game. His second year, he went 13-3. First in the AFC West, they lost to the Ravens in the divisional round. Okay, so they were one and done. But the next year, they followed it up with 13-3, first in the AFC West, went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks did kick their ass pretty good, but still, you went to the Super Bowl. And the following year, you went 12-4, and you were one and done. Now, I'm just asking you now, if you're telling me 4 years that you were there, you were in the playoffs 4 years, and you're 3-4 in the playoffs, and in the Super Bowl, and you got fired? You got fired with this record. In 4 years, 4 playoff experiences, including a Super Bowl, and you got fired, but yet we still have Jason Garrett? Can anybody explain that to me? Anybody? Because that's where you start looking at saying, okay, Jerry, I get it. You believe in him. You want to give him enough time. How much time we give him? Because the way it sounds like Jason Garrett is coach for life. Oh, okay. You can't see the TV good? Okay. Well, trust me. Cloud9, sorry. The lighting's probably too bright on it. But trust me. John Fox, I'll make it easy. John Fox in 4 years went to the playoffs with the Denver Broncos 4 times, went to a Super Bowl, and still got fired. So when we look at the Cowboys, you have to kind of scratch your head and say, what we're doing now is acceptable, because we're always going to be having Jason Garrett as a jack, which is just another coach. That's all he is, just another coach. And that's the sad thing for me. I don't know how you guys feel. I feel kind of deflated. I feel kind of down about it. I wish that things could be different, but I guess, you know, if you want to be a Cowboys fan, you've got to understand that this is the way it's going to be. This is how it is. We're going to have Jason Garrett. So we can choose to watch or not watch. That's the bottom line. VZP, let's start a YouTube channel and let people post their anger and okay. Put down the video on the TV, dummy. Okay. All right, Cowboys Nation, you're always complaining, dude. Violence, please. I am too. Protest, protest, protest. Well, I don't think protest is going to work, because in the end, here's the thing. There's no NFL owner that's going to go broke. because of revenue sharing. They all get a slice of the pie. So thinking that we're going to be able to boycott enough, I don't think that's going to do it. They will still sell more than enough paraphernalia. You look around here. Take a good look around here. How much Cowboy stuff do you see? See, I'm wearing my Got 5 shirt because I'm afraid that that's going to be all it's going to be for quite a while now, until we decide we're going to start taking some chances. We're going to try and do more than what we're doing. We are not going to accept what we've got on the field because it seems to be okay. We now have almost a year of our offense. Oh, IP Freely. The coach of the year wasn't because Jason Garrett did anything in particular that was great that ended up winning as a Super Bowl. Let's be honest here. Let's be 100% honest here, because there was nothing that Jason Garrett did that you turn around and said, wow, that's a team turnaround, because it wasn't. It was not anything special. Listen, because here's the thing. Let's think about this for a second here. Jason Garrett had Tony Romo, because all of you guys out there say, if we had Tony Romo, we'd won a Super Bowl already. Okay, well, he had Tony Romo. Tony Romo he had in 2014. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my stuff tonight. He had Tony Romo in 2014, who had probably the best statistical year of his career. Not the most touchdowns or anything, but his numbers, his QBR and everything else were fantastic. He had the NFL leading rusher. He had a young, healthy Dez Bryant trying to make a contract. He had the best offensive line in football, and that's when they truly were the best ones. Yet, we still lost at home to Green Bay. How much more do you need to win? Do you need to have Pro Bowlers at every position? If he has Pro Bowlers at every position and then fails, then you say, okay, he's not a good coach? Because you had more talent on that team than Green Bay did. Let's be honest. So don't say, even if we look at 2016, where we had the best running back in football, we had definitely the Rookie of the Year quarterback, we had the best offensive line. The defense wasn't as great, but they were better. Yet, we lost to a crippled Aaron Rodgers. A crippled Aaron Rodgers at home, partially because we left too much time on the clock. Just like we lost to Aaron Rodgers when we went for it all on 4th down. Yeah. So when you look at these mistakes, and Jerry Jones basically saying, I'm okay with the mistakes. There's things we'd like him to do better, but it's okay. Yeah. In the time that Jason Garrett's been here, you guys do realize that the Giants have won one and the Eagles have both won one. I would have thought that the Eagles winning last year would kind of make Jerry say, you know what? We got to do a little bit more here. I guess it'll take the Redskins winning one. And maybe the Redskins win one, then he'll get a little bit upset. I don't know. But you've changed the players. It's time to change the head coach. All right. On to other news, at least. At least Zeke Elliott, unbelievably, after contact, is averaging 3.3 yards, which is better than anybody who has been in the league since he has. Unbelievable. So a lot of people were saying, after they saw Barkley last night, saying, Zeke looked kind of slow. Barkley looks a whole lot faster. Well, Zeke has actually been doing it up pretty good. Chaz, hit me up again. Hit me your address so I can make sure I get that, because I lose all this stuff. I am so unorganized. I am terrible with that stuff. But hit me up again. It's sitting literally right over there, and I can't find the notebook that I've got all those addresses in. But what is it going to take for us to make some changes? I don't know. I'm just kind of sick about the whole thing. But anyway, Sean Lee is beginning to do work on the sidelines, and they believe he'll be ready to go ahead and start working out next week and play next week. Although they said, what? Oh, so we got booty hole guy back, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay. These trolls. This is just going to be one of those nights. With Sean Lee coming back, the question is, do you want him to come back just for the Redskin game, or would we be better off waiting till after the bye week? Get him a little more time to go ahead and go. And then the next thing you want to say is, do we want to take Van Der Esch out? Van Der Esch right now, statistically, is second in the NFL in linebackers. Pretty good. So, Now, if you look at the numbers, there are some things that are down just a little bit because Sean Lee's not in there. I think maybe what you want to do is start rotating them a little bit more. Start kind of getting Sean Lee in there some, but I don't think you want to take Van Der Esch completely out of the situation. Now, we do have Joe Thomas, who's got a messed up hand right now, so that's going to actually help getting him back as well, getting him back in the rotation. Juan, it may be that this is Sean Lee's last year, and I'm hoping that he actually goes into coaching because that guy has more knowledge than he's forgotten more football than most people even know. That's how much he knows. He is incredible. And you hate to see a guy like that because, Sean Lee is one of those guys that truly loves football, loves competing and everything else. You wish that he could have been healthy to really see what his career could have been like. But unfortunately, some guys just get injured, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. No matter what you do, they just can't seem to stay healthy. Well, I think actually playing Sean Lee on the weak side actually prolonged his career a lot because he wasn't, that thumper that had to take on those middle blocks where you're taking on the guards coming out and everything else. Being on the weak side, because Sean Lee, and part of the problem with Sean Lee is he is so fast, and that's one of the reasons why I think he's always kind of pulling that hamstring, making those cuts and stuff. Because once you start having an injury, it's real easy to continue re-injuring. How you doing, DT Taylor and Mirabera? Welcome to the chat tonight over there on Vimeo. Dez equals last season's scapegoat. Well, you kind of have to look at that. Now, truth be told, okay, let's not put it completely on the Cowboys because here's the thing. One of the things that happens, and I'm not saying that this happens because they want it to happen, but generally speaking, when wide receivers get that next contract, that big payday, they're never quite the same as they were before. We saw that with Calvin Johnson. We saw that with Larry Fitzgerald. Their production kind of goes downhill, partially because it's age. You look right now at Odell Beckham. I bet you the Giants are kind of like, maybe we shouldn't have paid that guy right now. Because Odell is always out there fighting something, okay? Be it a kicking net, be it putting a hole in the wall in Green Bay, and then last night headbutting some stuff, or attacking the trash can. He's doing everything but taking care of stuff on the field. Now I know Eli Manning is not that good anymore, but still, you're paying that dude a whole lot of money. So as we look at Dak Prescott, and a lot of people will say Dak just sucks and all that, look at some of these teams that got great wide receivers that are having issues and problems and so forth getting the ball downfield. Interestingly enough, Eric Dickerson actually made a great comparison to where the Cowboys are now versus the Rams before Sean McVay got there. He was saying basically we had an old coach, Jeff Fisher, who wasn't very imaginative. We didn't have any wide receivers. And we had a quarterback that everybody thought was a bust. So Sean McVay comes in. He's got new energy. He's taking risks. He's working with the guys. He brings all kinds of energy. And all of a sudden, you see him get some receivers. You see them now as one of the best teams in football. He said he feels that that's what we're dealing with Dak Prescott. Until you put some talent around him, and you got to admit that we don't have a security blanket as wide receiver. And boy, were we wrong, or at least I'm going to say I was wrong. We all looked at Jason Witten and said, yeah, he's getting slow. He's getting old. He's not quite there. It's time for him to move on. But you see how much of an asset he was, because when everything else broke down, you always knew you throw it to Jason Witten, he was going to catch it. He's not going to break a lot of tackles. He's not going to get that far downfield, but he'll get you 7, 8, 9 yards. We don't have that guy on the team right now. And I got to say, I don't know exactly because I'm not there in practice, but I'm trying to understand, because as you had Alan Hearns calling out the play calling as well as Dak and things with the 2 deep safeties, it's like you got to be able to audible out of that, but we're not sure that Dak is allowed to audible out of it. So you wonder, is it basically, this is a play, you're going to run this play, and that's that. What do I say about us not running well on the strong side and out with Jason Witten blocking? Swan and Rico can't block. They're not as good as Jason Witten. I mean, let's face it. Jason Witten's going to be a Hall of Famer. He had the experience and stuff. He didn't have the skill set as long, because he was getting older. He was slowing down and stuff, but he still was a wily veteran. Now you're talking about Rico, who literally has only had a few plays in the NFL now, having to learn how to block. And I think part of the problem with Rico is I don't think they actually play him enough. I think he needs to have more time to go ahead and get used to playing. The thing that bothers me is every time they were bringing him in before this last game, it was like, okay, we're going to throw it to Rico in the goal line. Everybody knew you got a 6'8" guy going into the end zone. You're going to make sure that you get him covered. And he's going in for his first play, so his nerves are like, are going crazy. You need to get him in there to get guys into a flow. It's kind of like a running back. Running backs usually take 10 or 15 carries before they start getting into a flow of a game and are able to start doing some damage. So you look at those things like that and say, hey, okay, maybe we need to play Rico a little bit more to get him into the game, to get people to start being lulled to sleep to think that he's not going to get the ball every single time. And then you kind of surprise people. They kind of surprised getting that 32-yard pass to him last week. And that, more than anything else, is what this team needs to do. And they also need to understand that we got another great defensive line. We got another great defense. What we have to do is stop these 7-step dropbacks where we're faking the handoff, we're turning this way, then we're trying to set up, and we're trying to go. Understand that here's the problem. You don't have enough time right now with this offensive line to do those. By the time he gets set, he's feeling pressure and he's getting happy feet and he's trying to hurry up and throw and his mechanics are off. What you need to do is go to more 3- and 5-step dropbacks where it's 1, 2, 3, throw the ball. Boom. Some timing routes. Go to the slant. Go to some things that are quick hitters so that way the defensive rush doesn't have time. Go to more play action. Something that he is top 7 in completion percentage. You've got to do some things to speed up the game to keep that pass rush off of him, to get him into a rhythm. If they start doing that, you'll start seeing some good stuff happen. Now, for the Jaguars, Jalen Ramsey actually showed up on the injury report and is basically 50-50 for Sunday with the knee. That's a huge injury for them because, Lord knows, they've got a great defense and we've got a pathetic offense, and we could use any advantage we can get. That must be the fake Vosh Lombardi right there, telling me that Herschel's a great pick because he was surprised as I was at the draft that we picked him. And it wasn't about him as a player. He just looked at some of the other guys that were on the board and said, I'm not sure that was the best pick that we could have made. He's not a bad player, but maybe we could have done somebody else. But that was kind of the way Travis Frederick was looked in 2013. A lot of people were like, that's a player you could have gotten later in the draft. Well, he was in 4 straight Pro Bowls and was the best center in football, and we could really use that guy with his leadership right now. He is actually doing a little bit better, slowly but surely on the mend. Not sure if he's going to be able to be back this season or not, but his help's coming first. Why does Rico need to block, put him on passing downs? Well, again, Aaron, here's the problem. We are running an offense that's basically from 20 years ago, and it's all predicated on the run. We're not like one of those high-flying teams that say, you know what, we could use a tight end that can catch passes. But we have to start doing something a little differently. And this is where I'm kind of wondering, Law Nation in the house. I'm not sure that that's the right Vosh Lombardi. I think that might be a fake one there, Law Nation. Yeah, Law's definitely checking out and making sure that that's not. Trust me, I've got an 80% Vosh as well that comes in here too, Law. You know I've got all kinds of trolls, man. Cleveland Round says he thinks that Shango was the only one cool with the pick. Well, I got to tell you, when we were at the draft, everybody was like, man, I'm out of here. Fuck this. Rico has to block because the defenses will stack the box. True. But here's the thing. You don't have to have a knockout KO block, because basically what you need is a tight end who can chip on his way out, become basically like a decoy. So, you go in, you got the defensive end, you give him a little shoulder, and boom, you go out to the flat, boom, you catch a pass. That's what you need to be able to do. And it seems to be like they want him to be able to block like he's a tackle or something. Because I got to be honest, I'm looking at our other tight ends, and I'm not saying exactly, that they're doing a fantastic job any which way. So at least let's see if we can get the ball to some wide receivers. Let's see if we can get the ball to the tight ends. Let's see if we can make some yards. Because even when we're having guys in blocking, it's not working. That was classic, the draft. Yeah, we enjoyed the draft. I'm hoping that we're not going to just start looking forward to the draft soon. Yeah, let's get that set just in case. Hang on, guys. All right, there we go. Trust and act, stay true to people putting down your team. Well, oh, William Curtis, that would be fantastic if we could get Dak to roll out of the pocket. Dallas fan, check your profile comments. Okay. Well, I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure what the Cowboys' plan is right now. And Law, if you are free, give me a buzz. Dre's Dallas Cowboys. I'm a little down today, to be honest with you, after the comments on Garrett. I'm just trying to understand what in the world. Thank you, Brian SoCal. How can you fire Jimmy after 2 Super Bowls yet keep Garrett? I've asked that one quite a few times because, again, Brian, I got to be honest with you. I'm beginning to think that it's all about. I'm beginning to think it's all about the drama. He's kind of being the ultimate troll right now. We kind of keep getting teased. We stay on the line and stuff. We keep thinking things are going to be different, yet they stay the same. I couldn't tell you what the heck is going on. I wish I could, but it just makes no sense to me. If somebody can tell me what it is, I would love to hear it. Jerry likes his yes man. Well, apparently he doesn't like winning. And I don't understand that because I thought it was all about winning. Well, here's the thing, Tony. I've said this before. Jason Garrett seems to be a guy who's got 9 lives. And it seems like every time you think that it's finally bad enough for Jason Garrett to go, he wins just enough. The team just good enough that he keeps his job. And they say, oh, well, maybe it's not so bad. Because that's how it was last year. I got a bad rep with Cowboys legend. Because when we were about to play the Redskins the second time, and I kept looking at the season, the way it was going after, losing to Green Bay and Atlanta at home, and Zeke Elliott was being suspended or was about to be suspended. Tyron Smith was injured. Sean Lee was out. We just kept looking at this thing, and I kept saying, this is not a Super Bowl team. Maybe to get better, we got to get really bad. And that's the only way Jason Garrett would go. And I kept saying, I don't want to lose to the Redskins, but maybe if the season goes south, maybe we get a high draft pick, maybe we get rid of Jason Garrett, maybe we bring in a new coach, and maybe things go right. And I got told, oh, you're not a real Cowboy fan. You never root for them to lose. But I got to tell you, every time I look at what's going on, yes, Law, I do. Skype on in. Yeah, every time I see Jason Garrett on the sidelines and seeing him clapping, it just drives me crazy. And I just keep thinking, and I try to go into the season and say, well, it's not going to change. I'm going to support Jason Garrett and hope that I'm wrong, that he is the guy. But it's hard to believe. And I know we win. If we get a win in Jacksonville, all of a sudden everything will look better, kind of like in Philadelphia today, that after they got that win last night, all of a sudden, the Eagles are the best team in the division. They're on track. They're ready to go. It rises and falls with victories and things. So, unfortunately, we may end up being marred in this right around 500, where one week we're going to look like world beaters, the next week we're going to look like crap. And so we're going to just kind of have to ride with that. And so if you want to be a Dallas Cowboy fan, it's just going to be the way it is. You're just going to have to keep riding with it. Law is calling in. I don't see. Where are you, Law? Wait a minute. Hang on. No. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we get him back. Okay, let's change this up and see if I get Law back in the house. Hang on one second, guy.
All right, so are you able to hear me, see?
There he is. It's been a while since we've had my man Law Nation in the house. Let me make sure we got the sound up. Okay. Can you hear me, man?
Man, yeah, you sounding good over there, man.
Well, I don't know if I'm sounding good or not, man. It's been a rough night and a rough day, man, and after a rough week. Say something to me to make me feel better, man. Just say anything, man.
It's one of those things where it's, hey, we're not playing against a mobile. Well, he is mobile. He's a mobile quarterback. So it's a home game. We're undefeated at home.
Which is rare because usually we play better on the road. And that's one of those things I kind of said, well, we are playing at home. Jalen Ramsey does have a knee injury. He's 50-50, so that might be an advantage. And what do you think about our offense? We've been dissected by everybody.
This is the thing with our offense. I said, now this is me all off season. I said the second hardest position to learn is the center, right?
Yes.
The third hardest position to learn in the National Football League is the tight end. Yes. Now we have a Joe Looney of the worlds out there as a center.
Who hasn't done a bad job.
He's not doing a bad job against pass pro. He is giving up a few steps there, and I must admit that pocket is collapsing a little bit faster than what it would be against if we had a Travis Frederick out there. But this is not me giving excuses, because I do know everybody gonna be saying, "Law, you giving excuses? You trying to give Dak Prescott every excuse you can find, right?"
Yes, I get that all. I get that all the time. I'm delusional.
Right. And then on top of that, the third hardest position to learn in the National Football League is the tight end play. Right. And I have yet to see any team to be successful with musical chairs at tight end. So that's what we're doing. Musical chairs at tight end.
More than anything, to me, I think the part of the problem is because we keep throwing so many different guys out there, there is no cohesion. I'm sure if I said that right.
Right, you said it right.
Because you can't keep trying to throw to 7 different guys. Okay, now we're talking about bringing Bryce Butler. Everybody is a little bit different, and you start learning which way this guy goes, where this guy likes to get the ball and things like that. We've had none of that. We, in fact, didn't even play in preseason before series with Dak Prescott. And we expect them to go out there and just perform. And it's like, how do you think that that's going to work?
It's not. And then on top of that, man, you add in the fact that you said you got all these wide receivers out there. But I would challenge anybody. Okay, this is not me throwing any of the wide receivers down. But you would expect. Now, I'm with the opinion, I'm with the viewpoint that you really can utilize the multiple receivers that you can hit down the field. But you can't do it when you have 3s and 4s. These guys are not even 2s if they was on any other respective team. Name me a team that Deontay Thompson would be the number 2 target on any team. Name me a team that Allen Hurns. Remember, they had Marquez Lee. They had Allen Robinson. He was the solid number 3. So we got a bunch of number 3s and number 4s out there. And Dak Prescott support. Now, trust me, Dak Prescott, he need to work on his accuracy. Yeah, he doesn't have some of the play, but he don't have
the mechanics. Because sometimes you'll see him go out there, he'll set, and boom, he'll fire the ball great. Other times he gets kind of happy feet, and he's just kind of just throwing, and his feet aren't even on the ground. So here's what I caught. If you read what he said, that every day I go out there, I work on my footwork, I work on my mechanics, and I kept thinking, I?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Think about it. It's not we.
Yeah.
Because, like when I threw shot put and discus and stuff, I could go out there and work on my footwork and stuff, but unless somebody was looking and saying, hey, you need to come out a little bit more, you need your knee bent a little bit more, your leg underneath it. Unless you got somebody else who's there who knows where it's supposed to be, you can't learn jack from yourself. Right.
And then on top of that, I went last night and I was going to do a show, but my daughter got on, she's under the weather and everything like that. So I was going to do a show last night, and I was going to do a comparison and analysis of all of the quarterback coaching of the supreme teams out there, like the Kansas City Chiefs, the Green Bay Packers, the Patriots. Who are their quarterback coaches? And I'm looking at the Green Bay Packers coach. The quarterback coach, he'd been there for 11 plus years, and then I looked at the quote unquote Patriots, who have one of the best quarterbacks of all time. One can argue that. And that quarterback coach, the coaching is 16 plus years in the game. So that's a long time for somebody to say, okay, hey, Tom Brady, you need to work on this a little bit. You need to work on that a little bit. And then if you go to the Dallas Cowboys resume, you go to their website and you pull up Kellen Moore, they don't even have enough information. So when you hit the drop down button, they don't have enough information on him to say, okay, he have been seasoned in this, he's been seasoned in that. It's something about that, And I'm not saying that Kellen Moore is the issue, but
maybe make him assistant quarterback coach. Because here's what drives it. Okay, you look at Andy Reid. He's on the sidelines there with Mahomes. You always see a quarterback come off the sideline. Even Tony Romo would be up on the headset with somebody. You see Dak sitting on the bench there with Kellen Moore, and it's just kind of like, yeah. We're just here. So where is the coaching? That is my thing. Linehan is up in the booth. I don't think that you're getting coached. And this is where there's a great interview on, Eric Dickerson is talking to, what is his name? Colin Cowherd. And he equated our Dallas Cowboys in the same positions the Rams were in with Jeff Fisher's last year. Didn't have wide receivers. He had an old coach who was not very modern, so to speak, or a risk taker and things like that. You had Jared Goff, who looked like he couldn't throw the ball 20 yards downfield. And you brought in some wide receivers. You brought in a real coach to coach him, and he went from being one of the worst quarterbacks to one of the best. Now, I'm not saying for sure that Dak Prescott can be one. I mean, but I do know this. If Steve Young had stayed at Tampa Bay, he wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame right now.
Right. If Brett Favre stayed with the Atlanta Falcons,
he wouldn't be. Exactly. Coaching has a lot to do with it. You look at, let's say, Joe Gibbs, for example. Joe Gibbs took 3 different quarterbacks to the Super Bowl. Nobody thought that Doug Williams was going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. But you had a guy who worked under Don Coryell, Air Coryell, knew quarterbacks, knew how to work with these guys, and took a Joe Theismann, took a Jay Schrader, took Mark Rippon, and made all of these guys great quarterbacks that weren't great stock. We don't have that guy here. And I looked at Jason Garrett's resume. This is where I was talking about coaching trees today. You think about the Bill Parcells coaching tree where you had a Sean Payton and things like that learn from guys that know how to work with men, okay? You had the Marty Schottenheimers. You had the Bill Walshes and things. And you see the guys that come out. Not all of them are successful, but all of them have been around at least.
Yes, indeed.
What's on Jason Garrett's resume? A year and a half under Nick Saban?
Yeah, and let's look at this right here, just so we won't be just talking about our own team, right? Let's look at, now I'm not trying to say Dak Prescott is a Drew Brees, but you remember when the Chargers ran Drew Brees out of there? They drafted Phillip Rivers in 2004-ish, something like that, and he played his entire year, but everybody was like, Phillip Rivers. And then the last play of the game.
He's had a really good career.
He had a good career. Tall, got everything, got all of the measurables that you want out of a quarterback. And the last play of that particular season, Drew Brees tore his rotator cuff or what have you, and he had to go and he had to he was released and cut, and then he had a choice. I guess team was like, well, do he go to Miami? Do he go to New Orleans? But this guy Sean Payton was like, look, I can work with him. I want him. You see. And that's what a quarterback coach, and that's what I guess a guru per se can do. He has that old doctrine of a Parcells mentality of saying, hey, this is what you got to do to elevate your game to this level, and this is what I'm going to do to improve you. And we just don't have that voice out there. One can argue and say, okay, who's the coach that we got rid of last year? What's his name? Was Wade Wilson?
Yeah, Wade Wilson was quarterback coach.
Yeah, Ray Wilson. He's not that guy.
No. But look at and again, see, I'm looking at the comments here, and people are saying Dak is not accurate. You can't coach accuracy. Well, that's because Troy Aikman basically said either you got it or you don't have it. But if you looked at Troy Aikman when he first came through the first 3 years in the NFL, you probably would have said Troy Aikman ain't got it. Okay, it took him some time to get it. But here's the thing: one, you find stuff guys do well because. Cam Newton has never been known to be accurate. Right or wrong? But
he misses his throws. Yes.
Especially short throws, he's not real accurate with. However, they figured out a way that they can win with that guy. They use the things that he has well. Dak Prescott, play action, 7th in the NFL. So you say he's not accurate. On play action, 122% QBR. 7th in the NFL. 7th in the NFL. Yet we keep trying to always do these 7-step dropbacks on plays that are taking forever to develop and trying to do this offense like Tony Romo. Understand, this guy is great outside. Get him outside on rollouts, naked bootlegs and things like that, and get him into some rhythm. And also, when you go back to accuracy, if you don't have somebody who's working on your mechanics and showing you exactly how to throw, you're not going to get better. And I don't believe he is getting that coaching myself.
No, he's not. And then we talk about schemes and schematics. We can talk about that because I see a lot of people saying excuses all in the inbox. But let's do this. Let's move away from this sport. Let's talk about Shaquille O'Neal, the big daddy that he is, the Diesel, Big Shaq, right? I can draw up a play and say, okay, I want Shaquille O'Neal to shoot a three-pointer. And in order for him to make this, we have to execute the play as the coach, right?
Right.
And if he don't make those 3-pointers, then that philosophy can go upon the execution, that can go upon just his skill set, and one can argue the fact that he just don't have the skill set to shoot the three. So who's at fault? So I can also say with the same breath as that I'm gonna draw up a play that Steph Curry, all he's gonna do is low post and bang action down below. That's not going to work. So what a coach should be able to do is to draw up plays that benefit and elevate that person's skill set or that player's said skill set. Meaning that when Shaquille O'Neal has his ability to get low post down into the gutters of things, that's his strength, not shooting threes. So Dak Prescott, what's his strength? Like you said earlier, you lamented the fact that he needs to roll out more. He's topping the NFL and roll out passes. They need to put him in more RPO actions. They need to stop playing scared and allow him to play some college-style offense. Is it going to be the Tony Romos of the world? No, he's not on that level. And on top of that, the scheme that's already inbuilt and embedded into this offense is a vertical system. And we just don't have a quarterback at this point and in this stage of his career that can pass the ball vertically.
Right. And all you guys out there who are, if you think that I'm delusional and blind, feel free not to watch. Okay. I'm okay with that. Okay. I'm trying to tell you guys the bottom line is there ain't nobody else, in the chamber here to put out on the field. And getting a franchise quarterback, just because you say, oh, we're going to have a high draft pick next year, does not mean you're going to get a franchise quarterback. And on top of that, if you do go through and get a quarterback and we still have the same results because every quarterback who's been under Jason Garrett has not gotten any better, take a look at the guys we have that were behind, that have regressed from last year. Our second string quarterback, he looked a lot better last year. He doesn't look any better this year. So you've got to start wondering and looking, how come our quarterbacks don't do better? Brandon Wheaton in a week and a half went to Houston and won 2 games for him to get him in the playoffs. I mean, come on. Let's be real. Yeah. And on top of it, you had a Tony Romo playing the best season of his career with the best running back, with an offensive line that was the best offensive line in football, with a young Jason Witten out there. And guess what? You lost to Green Bay. So think about that. If you had all that going for you and you still could not win playoffs, why do you think that the coaching staff is worth a damn?
Yes, indeed. And then you got to put surround. And I'm not saying that, hey, we go out and say, okay, let's bring Dez Bryant back into the mix. But what I'm saying is every year that Tony Romo was able to play, they always had like a supreme type of wide receiver out there one way or another. They had a Terrell Owens. And when they got rid of Terrell Owens, they said, you know what? We ain't finna have boo-boo on our face. We're going to go draft Dez Bryant. And then they also had this other guy named Williams, although he was a wash at the time. He just couldn't connect. Roy Williams, they had him. And then you remember the whole saga with Roy Williams telling Dez Bryant, come carry my pads. You guys remember that.
Well, you know what this actually reminds me of? And they finally got it. It used to be on the offense side, because when they got T.O., when they got Roy Williams, and they were always focused on the Ferraris, they kind of didn't worry about the offensive line. The offensive lines, they were getting journeymans and nobodies and has-beens and things like that. And that's where Tony Romo was getting killed. Yeah. They finally learned that, wait a minute, we got to have talent on the offensive line to succeed. And that's when they started going out and get your Tyron Smiths and, Zach Martins and Travis Fredericks and things. But now we've got that mentality now, we can just throw anybody out at wide receiver and we'll be okay. Right. Here's the statistics. Dak Prescott, when he hits 7 or more wide receivers, 7 or more people in a game, he's like 18-2 or something like that. So we'll give him 7 wide receivers. We'll make sure he throws a ball to each one of those and we'll win. To me, that's almost what it feels like.
Yeah, it's overkill with the wide receivers, though. You know, they got too many out there, and then they don't have room to even put a guy out there like the Bryce Butlers. And just thank God that right now that T. Will is injured, because they would have had another guy that was going to be out there. To me personally, I would rather for Michael Gallup, number 13, to play every snap so he can learn and pick up this offense.
And I'd like to do, you know what, and here's the thing, too. With Rico Gathers, they need to do the same thing with him, because I think part of the problem with him is he's got so little experience. Every time you put him out there, defenses are saying, cover the 6'8" guy because he's out here now. They're going to do something with him. Get him into the flow for 5 or 6 plays, then try and throw him a pass. Because you know when we play football, at least for me, until I get that first hit, my nerves were shit. I'd be ready to just about throw up. Once I get that first hit, I'm cool. I'm ready to go. You know, but you got him going out on goal line, first play, you know, he's going to play, and knowing that everybody's going to say, we got to cover, it's going to that guy. Get him into a flow.
And that's why I played defense, because I said, look, I'm going to hit somebody first. I ain't going to let them hit me. I'm going to hit them first.
Yeah, well, high school it was offensive line. College it was nose guard, which is a totally different thing. Believe me, I'll get hit from every which way. The center, the guard on the other side, the fullback, the tackle would come. I mean, it was just like, you just get hit every which way in the world. But let me ask you, you're the head coach or the offensive coordinator. How do you fix Dak Prescott? Or how do you fix this offense, I should say? Because anybody out there who thinks, and as Pedro, great comments, who here thinks that the only problem on offense is Dak Prescott? And I say, I agree, Dak Prescott has issues. His mechanics, when he throws without being mechanically sound, it's shit. He misses receivers. He's missing reads. But also he's not being put in a position to win. And the offensive line is nowhere near that number one offensive line that it was before. He doesn't have a security blanket in tight end or anybody else. There is nobody there that you say shit's going wrong I can go to. There's nobody there on that team. So everybody on the offense, in my mind, needs to do better. But how do you fix this offense?
I mean, if I'm the offensive coordinator, if I'm the head coach of this offense, my first phone call would be to the Mullen guy, who is down there in Florida now. I would reach out to him. I'll reach out to the Texas Tech coach. I'll reach out to some of these college coaches, and I say, okay, how much money do my daddy Jerry Jones have to pay you to fly you in so that we can have a one-on-one session with Dak Prescott to help elevate this offense?
There you go.
How can I become creative enough? And I understand that we can see some creative plays with Scott Linehan, but they all don't match well. One play you're in an I formation, then damn it, the next play you're in a shotgun, then you're in a pro set, and then you're in an offset I formation, and you're moving Cole Beasley in the back, where you rarely see Cole Beasley get the ball anyway. Those things, you can argue the fact they are creative, but just because you're painting with different colors of brushes and different colors of Crayolas doesn't mean that it's going to be a wonderful a canvas. You got to figure out what's the main goal. Are we trying to utilize this offense out of Ezekiel Elliott, or are we trying to be more of a play action run shoot type of team? I would try to get that identity down first. And then I would say, I'll call all the wide receivers in the room, and I'll say, look, guys, this is going to be trial session. We only going to roll with 3 of you guys out here permanently. The 4th and the 5th guy, if you don't make it, damn it, you just don't make it. Then I'll settle this debate with these tight ends, whether it be a Swain, whether it be a number Jarwin, or whether it be a Rico out there permanently, not just rotating them like moving chairs or musical chairs. I will figure that out. And then I'll say, okay, this is the team that we roll with. And I have to just stop being nice to everybody. You see, that's the problem. You can't be nice to everybody. Somebody said Dabo Sweeney. That's the name I was looking for. Yeah, I'll reach out to him too.
Yeah. Now, Paul Hernandez, that is a fair statement. I'm not going to lie and say that, okay, I thought that a Dak-friendly offense was going to be better than what it was. And I was completely wrong, because I looked at it like this. Because here's the bottom line. With Dez Bryant, $16 million with the production that you were getting and the meltdowns that you had in Seattle and things, that was a problem. You couldn't spend $16 million on that and get what you were getting and think that you were going to be able to pay a Zach Martin, to think that you're going to deal with a DeMarcus Lawrence, to be able to think that you're going to be able to get some help and depth on the team, which was missing. for no other reason. Last year we would have been in playoffs if we had had some depth on the offensive line at linebacker. And unfortunately, $16 million going to Dez Bryant, which you were not getting $16 million worth of production, was going to enable you to be able to fill that roster out. Now, I thought Alan Hearns, I thought he was going to be a little bit better than what he was. I thought Dak Prescott, having an off season and stuff with these guys, that production would have been better. I don't know what the hell happened, but I know this much. Kellen Moore, I don't think is the guy that's going to be able to take Dak Prescott to another level. You look at the body language of Dak on the sidelines and stuff. I look at Dak, and Dak looks best on the field when he is doing no huddle and basically running the offense.
Mark, not to cut you off, but what position you played in high school?
I played offensive guard, and then I played nose tackle in college.
You played offensive guard?
Yeah.
And let's say, for instance, your junior year, you beat out the senior guy that played offensive guard, right?
I did.
And then the very next year, that same senior, he comes onto the sideline and he's supposed to give you tips. How often would you really deep down? You'd probably be cool with the coach and say, yeah, I'll listen to him. But how often would you really listen to that guy?
Yeah, you're like, this bum's going to teach me?
Right. I won more games than he did, you know. Right. But go ahead with your point, though.
But I agree with you. I mean, with the whole Dez situation. So, yeah, I thought it was going to be because here's the thing. You looked at what happened between when we got rid of T.O., was you saw Miles Austin all of a sudden go from having, I think, 20 catches to all of a sudden having 1,300 yards. See, that was the difference is we had a guy who stepped up and became that next guy for Tony Romo. So we actually ended up having more production. Right now, we don't have anybody stepping up. None of these guys.
Well, you got, this is what you have right here. You know, as a guy who studied and was an analyst at my day job, you got what we call the Pareto efficiencies. We have the efficiencies that we see. And then also we have this right here. Mm-hmm. There's no proven history that you can go back and say Deontay Thompson can step it up. There's no history that proves that Alan Hearns can step it up beyond the inside slot guy. Shout out to Alan Hearns. I love what he can do, but he have yet to even prove that he ever been able to play on the outside. Right. And then on top of that, who's the other guy receiver we have?
Thompson.
I already said Deontay Thompson.
Hearns.
Hearns, he's the inside guy.
Cole Beasley.
Gallup, I can understand. I give him a pass.
Who am I missing?
Beasley doing his thing in the inside. You know, Beasley is still Beasley in the inside.
Right.
The slot guy is still always going to be your third option anyway. You know?
Right.
So we really can't go back to anything to say, okay, this guy at X is proven commodity. This guy at the Z that can move in and out at the Y, he's a proven commodity. And then on top of that, you add insult to injury. You got these tight ends that I would say personally, if the Dallas Cowboys want to go with this type of philosophy, because right now the leading target for Dak Prescott is the tight end, or are the tight end at this point, that they should have went out during the offseason and said, you know what? Right now, the tight end is not moving the needle where I think that they should be. I'm going to go out and grab me a veteran tight end, you see.
Right. And see, most people don't realize it, but tight ends have really become almost your number one wide receiver. You look at what Zach Ertz meant to the Eagles last year. You look what Gronk has been right there. We don't have that kind of guy. Yeah. So
I thought you were going to say Travis Kelce too.
Kelce, yeah. There you go. Mm-hmm. So those are becoming major weapons, and you look at the offenses that are doing really well. They've got a great tight end. We're lacking. I hate to say it, and I hate to say that our offensive line, which is, I believe, the highest paid one in the NFL, right now, we paid too much. Tyron Smith has some good games, but you see him starting to get beat more and more with speed rushers. Clowney had quite a few good plays against him. La'el Collins is getting, I think he's had 4 penalties already this season. He's kind of missing on a few. Connor Williams, I think, has actually played better than what most people have thought. But you look at Joe Looney is actually doing pretty good, but he is the center is the general out there for that offensive line, and that's going to take some time. I do believe that the offense can get better just from having some more time to work together, as long as they don't implode against each other. And that's my biggest fear is we're beginning to lose the locker room.
Yeah, did you already talk matchups already with the Jaguars already?
No.
Okay.
If you'd like
Can
to,
you
go ahead.
do you still have Calais Campbell's number? Can you text him to say, hey, can he not play us tomorrow?
Yeah, I can do that. I'll get laughed right out the building and stuff and all. Yeah. But yeah, Calais. Oh God, I'm
not. Look, I'm not worried about Calais Campbell against big number 77. I'm just worried about because they kick him to both sides when they move him over to 71.
Yeah, against Lyle Collins. Yeah.
Yeah, Lyle Collins. Lyle Collins all this year. When he does give up the sack, he also give up a bonehead play, whether it be holding at the wrong time, whether it be
holding
he
or an offside,
offside, or we call that false start type of deal. So he need to fix that up.
And that's where I keep saying that, and everybody keeps saying you're just trying to make excuses. I'm not trying to make excuses for Dak. I'm trying to make excuses for our whole offense why it is failing. If everybody, I say this, if everybody does 5% better, we win.
Yeah.
A catch here, a catch there, a block here, a block there, a better play call on this one and that one. All of a sudden, we're talking about this offense rolling and looking a lot better than where it is now. But you end up having a holding call now is 1st and 20. You end up having, a sack at the wrong time, takes you out of field goal range. You get down in the red zone, have to settle for a field goal. All these things start adding up to not scoring enough points to win. And if we could get a couple of these things that are doing a little bit better, then great. But my biggest fear, like I said, is with Jason Garrett not going for it, that you kind of heard the players kind of say, yeah, we'd like to kind of go for it. You hear Alan Hurst talking about the play calling. At some point, everybody is just going to turn the coaching off.
Yeah, I know you probably already did the statistics on that. Jason Garrett, since 2011 or 2012, has been the coach. They are 78% on 4th downs, believe it or not.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, Ezekiel Elliott, out of his career, his luxurious career, he's like 18 for 19 on 4th and 1. So the numbers were in our favor, especially at the 42. And there's a clip out there that Brett Maher is kicking a 67-yard field goal. So anything,
he won his job with a 57-yard field goal there in preseason. So anything. But see that goes to basically what Jerry Jones is kind of saying. I believe in Jason Garrett. He's not taking a risk, and Jason Garrett's not going to take a risk. He's always looking for his kind of guys as opposed to somebody that might be a little bit edgy and things like that are out there, or taking a risk in some of these play callings. He still believes that, I am a Princeton graduate, I'm super smart, and this is the way we're going to do it. But you got to be able to go with the flow. And
let me tell you a joke, Mark.
What's that?
Believe it or not. Would you rather, for that 4th and 1, would you rather for Jason Garrett to call that call or Jerry Jones? That 4th and 1.
Is there a difference?
Hey, if Jerry Jones was to call that play, you think he would go for it?
I think Jerry would have, yes.
Yeah, so
Jerry definitely would have gone for it.
Jerry Jones is a gambler at best, He used
to be a gambler. I'm not so sure anymore because he's taking the safe road with Jason Garrett. To just say that I believe in Jason Garrett, are there things we wish he'd do better? Yes. It's like, well, wait a minute. If you're about winning and you know that there's things he's not doing right, then why are you settling for that?
I think. Me just looking at everything, we knew that Jerry Jones, he wanted to pull the trigger on Deion Sanders, right?
Yeah.
He was the one that wanted to pull the trigger on Joey Galloway, the other guy. I think that this more so have to do with Stephen Jones, Just to be honest, I just think that this whole deal has to go with Stephen Jones.
Now, here's my hope, though, okay? I always say that, Jerry Jones is over here being Jerry Jones, and he's kind of like the dog whistle. Everybody follows along with everything Jerry says and goes with it. Because remember, he was talking about Johnny Manziel, talking about Brandon Wheaton throws a great pass and stuff. But, Dez Bryant, he's part of the family. But it's Stephen Jones that you kind of have to watch his body language, because he'll kind of give you hit. Because when everybody told me I was an idiot and said, I said, Dez is gone. No, man, everybody said, no, Dez is going to be back. They're going to offer him a pay cut. Now, I'm like, no. Watch Stephen Jones, because when you talk about Dez Bryant with Stephen Jones, he would just kind of get this cold look and just kind of, and, he's saying, you can't say, well, Jason Garrett's on the hot seat. You're not going to come out and say that and undermine him. What you do is you give him the vote of confidence to say, we believe in this guy and we're giving you a vote of confidence, and that means your head is in the sling. And that's kind of what Stephen Jones, we're not looking at making a change or anything. He's our guy. Was that the vote of confidence that kind of says your ass is in the sling, and since you are on, next year is your last year of your contract, that we may not be re-upping this. We're going to get you the hell out of here.
Well, you might be right.
That's my only hope, because I don't know that I can take a couple more years of Jason Garrett. I'll be honest.
I would admit this, though, and I'm going to try to find these clips, but he was very optimistic about Wade before he got fired, before he got the can. It was just that embarrassing game with Green Bay, and it just did something to him that he said, look, he fired. We're going to elevate Jason Garrett. So I think that, you're on the right page with that.
Well, I tell you what, if it ends up being butt ugly against Jacksonville, and then they end up coming to Washington and the Redskins end up kicking our ass, and it's a bye week, you might look at that and say, you know what?
That'll be the last time we hear, how you doing, guys?
That would be, at least Scott Linehan would be, I would think.
Well, yeah,
at least, because at that point, then you've lost the team. Yeah, I mean, but then again, maybe Jerry Jones, maybe Jason Garrett knows where the bodies are buried. And just like one of those movies that, if you kill me, the letter automatically goes to the NFL commissioner or something like that he's got the goods of Jerry Jones. I can't understand it myself.
It got to be some secret tapes, or maybe if you look at Jason Garrett and you look at Jerry Jr., not Stephen Jones, but you look at Jerry Jr., they kind of got the same little red hair going, they kind of look alike, from afar. So,
okay, you know what?
There could be something going on with that,
okay, you know what? I say a lot of things. I said I did a video earlier that I'm in a toxic relationship with Jerry Jones and put a picture of him and me together. I kind of crossed the line a little. I'm not going to go there with that one, man. That was, time out on that one, Law. That's going a little too far. Whoa, wow, okay.
Shout out to Jerry Jones, though. He get down. You know how it goes.
I can see Jerry now. I don't know, but there's got to be something, because his whole family is ingrained with the Cowboys and stuff. And like somebody said, I'm surprised he's not living in Jerry Jones's mansion with them. But for whatever reason, he believes in him. I just don't understand. I mean, this is the guy who took the chance on the Herschel Walker trade. At the time, everybody thought that Minnesota got the best of that deal. He took the chance of buying the Cowboys when the Cowboys were
just to go all the way back. He fired Tom.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who was taking all kinds of risks and stuff, and now it's just like, it's okay. It's all right. We good.
How many Super Bowls you got a chance to witness, Mark?
What, live? I mean, actually go to?
A lot.
A few.
When I got a chance to witness those
15,
three, because I was born in '83, so I was following the Cowboys since like.
Are you saying go to the game or actually watch the game?
I'm talking about actual, like, you was alive during the time.
Oh, okay. I'm the same age as the Super Bowls. Okay.
Oh, okay. So
I'm 53. Okay. That's That's how I know how old I am by what Super Bowl it is coming up. So yes, I've been on. I can remember the Cowboys losing to the Colts. That's the first Super Bowl that I can remember. Okay, which was basically a field goal fest. I think it was 1916. I'm probably wrong on that, but it was a low-scoring game, and I remember them beating Miami. So yeah, I've been around for all of them. Just can't remember all of them.
Can't remember all of them. So I just remember the '80s Cowboys, and my brother, he was a big diehard 49ers fan. You remember 49ers were winning everything in the '80s,
right? And the Cinderella story, 1980, my freshman year in high school.
And I just been like just deep involved with the Cowboys since then. But guys, I'm just gonna give a little prep talk to those who out there who's having doubt and miserable about the Cowboys now. there's not a greater feeling than right now still supporting and rooting for your team for us to ultimately win one. You see, so it just feels a lot better because I had a chance in the 80s to be like, you know what? I'm going to jump over into the 49ers, you know what I mean? Because I was so young and impressionable at that time. I had a chance to go say, you know what? I'm going to jump over to the Chicago Bears because they was winning and things like that. So, or the Deadskins, all those teams. But I was able to stick through that and always stay true to silver and blue. And trust me, guys, right now it seems grim, but you just hold in there and watch how those tears of joy are going to come out when we host that Lombardi Trophy, man. It's just going to be nice. Not saying we can get it right now this year.
Benny Smith, shout out to you. You're 16-13 on the Colts Super Bowl. Thanks for getting me that one. Like I said, I'm getting old and forgetful. The score, though. Yeah. Stranger things have happened. Again, we're only in week 5. I mean, there's still chances for the team to turn around. You've got a great running back. That's a great way to start. You got a defense that's playing well. You've got a division. Heck, you still got a game against the Giants. You got 2 against the Redskins and 2 against the Eagles. So you still have opportunities out there. We've been playing well over the last few years in our division. You know, the Redskins, you saw what they did Monday night against the Saints. They got the Panthers this weekend as well. So it's not going to be an easy road for them to hoe right there. Eagles, of course, beat the Giants, but the Giants, you know, like I said, by week 8, the Giants would have their golf clubs in their trunk. And it looks like they definitely are going to. So it ain't over, but we got a long way to go before we're in that class.
Yeah, I just think that right now, I think that we're going to have, over $45 million to play with next year or more, right?
It's more than that, because here's the other thing, too. Because think about it. Right now, we got $20 million. You know that rolls over.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. He rolled over like
so that $20 million along with the, you know, basically it's a $25 million that we have in dead money that's going to be coming off the books. And then you start saying, okay, who's coming back? I mean, you have to wonder, is Sean Lee going to be part of the equation next year? You know, is Tyrone Crawford? Because right there, you're talking about $17 million between the two of them. So there's some other contracts. I mean, they could have tons and tons of money. The question is, are they going to follow that same scenario of low-balling talent as far as free agents go?
Yeah, we've been picking out of the bottom of the barrel. Let me ask you this: do they, if you had like a free access pass to get one player, explosive player on offense, who would you get and why? Like, who would you go out there and get? I've seen people say Amari Cooper or somebody, make trades and deals, do something like that. Would you do it all on offense, or would you do something like, I'm just going to make sure that this defense is going to be like the doomsday defense, or do you just do it on defense?
Well, here's the problem with our defenses. Our defense is playing good. They're keeping teams from scoring. You know, they're putting pressure on the quarterback, but they're not getting turnovers. Turnovers help an offense so much, because what happens when you get an interception, your team is excited, your offense is out there, the other team's defense is not ready to go out there, and you can sneak a play on them real good. You end up getting usually good field position. All these things go into helping out the offense. We got one interception on the whole season. One.
Yeah.
And that's a game-changing type play that makes a difference, and we are not getting those. So we definitely need that guy. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get an Earl Thomas out there. I still say we're a little bit lacking in safety, but that ship has definitely sailed for this year.
Right, nobody. Yeah.
But we need a number 1 wide receiver.
We do. We do. Well, as far as a productive receiver, that when the ball, look, I saw when I look back at some film of the DeAndre Hopkins, right? Some of them balls were low, and he was able to corral the ball. And some of the ball was extremely high. And then on top of that, those routes that I looked at, because I tried to look at every angle I could, because, you know, Byron Jones, my guy. And I was sitting there saying to myself, okay, where did he got burnt at? He didn't get burned on none of the vertical routes, which was cool. But the routes that he got burnt on when he was traveling across the field, and, you know, they covered 2. I told everybody during the live broadcast, the weakness of a cover 2 are your slants and vertical seam routes. And they was rotating Hopkins. He didn't travel with Hopkins on all of those plays, so it looked like he had a lot of yards. But what killed them were when they transferred Hopkins across the field. And that was just too much. I'm going to just say that was too much damn time for Watson to sit back and to have a receiver to go all the way across the field And for him to still make that throw without even having any pressure, I was sitting there saying, come on, somebody else got to get pressure out there opposed to just D-Law.
Yeah. It was definitely lacking. But I got to tell you, another person I would put on the hot seat besides Jason Garrett would be Bill O'Brien. The abuse that they are letting their quarterback take, dude ain't going to make it through the season. I mean, he literally got the hell beat out of him. And that's another one of those things that, things that always drive me crazy is I hate receiving the ball to start the game. But we should have, we won the toss. We should have kicked to them, because you had Watson underneath the 10. Think about that. We kicked the ball to him. He's under the 10 getting examined. You could have had an opportunity for your defense to get a couple of good plays, stop them, and then get the ball, go down, kick a field goal. This thing's over with. And that's the kind of stuff that our coaching staff seems to miss. Mismatches and things like that. They're just not aware of what's really going on around where they can find a spot here or there to get an advantage to make a difference.
Yeah, we still do this, and I hate to say it, we still, regardless, even when the days of Tony Romo, we still play down to our competition. Teams that we supposed to beat or teams that we supposed to just walk over. Not subtly or denigrating Texas. They did a hell of a good job.
Yeah.
And shout out to the fans that was out there, because the stage was rumbling and everything with Cowboys Nation. Shout out to y'all. And we need you guys to be out there again this Sunday. But it's just something about that. Guys, go back and watch games. Go back and watch the Detroit game when they came all the way back. Go back and watch the Matt Flynn, who we played against. Matt Flynn, Green Bay Packers. We had that game in the bag.
Yeah. Not Aaron Rodgers, Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn.
Shout out to D22 asked, how many yards will Dak have in this game? You know what? I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to say 250 yards, okay?
No.
I'm going to say 250 yards, because I think the Cowboys players are going to man the F up and go out there and actually ball. You watch, because the NFL is unpredictable, because when everything thinks this is exactly how it's going to be, it goes the opposite direction. Take a look at the Minnesota Rams game. You thought that was two great defenses. It was going to be low scoring. What happened? It was a damn shootout, right?
Or the Bills Minnesota game, right? When the Bills came down. Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to say Dax will have 250 yards. And if he does, make sure you come back in and do me another super chat on that, all right?
If he does, I'm going to make sure I do a super chat. 250 yards on that defense, that would be nice. That would hush a lot of people for at least a week,
Jay Stokes says, I think you mean 25 yards, Mark. Okay. Read between the lines, buddy. Read between the lines. Mark must be drunk. No, but you know what? After listening to Jerry, I should be.
Oh, yeah.
Dak will have 87 yards and 3 picks. Wow. Dak is crap. The worst quarterback in the NFL. Actually not. Take a look at the stats there, buddy.
He plays good at home, so we got a fighting chance at home. I think that the way you got to attack this Jaguars defense, you got to exploit.
William Curtis, put down the sauce there, buddy. 275. Now you're pushing it.
Right. But the way you can attack on this the stingy Jaguars defense would be vertical seam route. They play a soft shell cover 2 as well. So the best thing you can do is when Church get down in the box, when Gibson get down in the box, those are their 2 safeties, what have you, you have to eat inside. So I think that Cole Beasley have a chance of having a good game. Whether it be Swain or Jarwin or Rico, they have chances to play and have a good game. The thing is with Ezekiel Elliott, he may start off slow. I don't think that their edge rushers are like just very dominant in a sense. They're very powerful and physical, but they got some hunters out there.
They're not as fast as Clowney is. Clowney looked fast as could. I mean, Clowney, I was like, damn, that dude is rolling.
Yes, indeed. But that Jack and that Smith they got on the linebacker core, they're not the biggest guys in the world. You can run at them,
fast too, yeah.
But they can get out to those edge. So expect Ezekiel Elliott not to get to the edge real quick. But if one of them guys so happen to blitz in too quick, and then you can see one of those screen passes get up the field, you may see some things like that.
Well, we'll see. So what you got going on your channel these days, man?
Oh, tomorrow, I will be meeting with Drew Pearson, the original 88, Bryce Butler. I hope I can talk to him and see what he's going to do tomorrow. I'll be meeting with Michael Gallup and Cole Beasley. They'll be at the Lava Cantina in Plano, Texas. So if you guys are close in the area, just come on out to the event. When you get to the gate, normally the ticket's like $65 to $85, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you get to the gate, just off of love from me, the Law Nation, I got you. I just tell them like, hey, I heard it from Mark Holmes' page. All you got to do is say, hey, Mark Holmes' page sent me here, or Law sent me here, and we'll take care of that $65 to $85 for you. We may just make it 10 or something like that. You know what I mean?
Man,
I got you.
Let me hop on a jet and get down there tomorrow then. Damn.
Yes, indeed.
That's a hell of a deal.
Now, as far as getting a selfie and all that stuff, maybe if you hang around late, maybe you can get a selfie with the original 88 and things like that. That's how we get down.
That's nice, man. That's cool.
Lava Cantina in Plano.
I'm assuming that everybody knows Law Nation, but if you don't, make sure you definitely check out Law Nation. He is one of the, you're talking to nothing but the best out there, as well as my man Vosh Lombardi. And speaking of Vosh, how's he feeling about Jason Garrett right now?
Oh, man.
I know he's getting a lot of flack.
I mean, Vosh, he going to go down with the fight, man. And trust me, to me personally, when you guys get a chance to meet Jason, you're not going to get an ill vibe from him, right? You're going to be like, man, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
he's just not a damn coach.
I'm having a couple drinks and talking football with them, but I'm just not sure. And again, that's not. Sometimes you want a guy who's a little bit edgy, somebody that's going to cuss you out at the drop of a hat, Well, guys, thank everybody for coming in tonight and everything else, and listening to me rant about, of course, everything that is Cowboys. Hopefully, maybe we get a win on Sunday, and we'll end up having a different outlook next week, because it's football. It is a week-to-week league. From one week, it is just butt ugly, to the next week, you guys are great. And it's funny because listening to the Redskin fans last week and the Redskins talk radio here, they were the greatest thing since sliced bread. This week, they are literally, man, we got the worst team in the world. So everything that you're hearing here in Dallas has been talked about in every NFL city in the NFC East. So, guys, be safe out there, and we will see you Sunday. We'll be live streaming during the game. I'm Mark Holmes.